Hey guys, this is Glenn Rolfe. I'm gonna do a Halloween horror reading for you guys. I'm gonna read from this book. This is for Janine, by the way. This is A Box Full of Monsters. I don't know if you can see that super cool cover. Zach McCain did that. This is from Thunderstorm Books. I think you can get a copy on eBay, but it's like $125 or something. It's got 3 novellas and a short novel in it. It's Abrams Bridge, Boomtown, which were my first 2 Sam Hain novellas. Sinister Grin's Chasing Ghosts that I put out with Sinister Grin, and Becoming, which I put out through Alien Agenda Publishing. But I'm going to read from Becoming. So I hope you guys like it, and I'll read the first few pieces of this book for you. Under a September sun, the last visage of summer heat clinging to his back, Clint Truman gazed out over Jade Lake. The shimmer and shine off the water was blinding. The beauty of the lake behind his house always seemed taunting compared to the ugliness of his life. Sweat rolled down his wiry frame, the scars on his ribs serving as tattooed reminders of the wickedness in his past, the power, fury, and all-around evil of his father. Jack Truman now lies dormant to an extent. Stomach cancer slowed his will and ultimately his physical ability to dole out the sadistic punishment that prevailed over Clint's life for the last few years. The old man weighs in at about 89 pounds, wheezes like Anakin Skywalker at the end of Return of the Jedi, and can barely do more than shit and piss himself in the back room. Yet, despite his atrophy, the eyes hold steadfast to the man's hatred and pain. His gaze cuts Clint in half every fucking time. A splash from the lake caused him to sit up. It came from right in front of him. Shielding his eyes, squinting as he surveyed the water, a set of glowing green lights faded in and out below the surface, shaded by the dock. Whoa. It was only when he leaned over the edge of the platform that he saw the face looking up at him. Holy fucking shit. The most beautiful woman he'd ever seen, black hair floating out around her head like seaweed, floated below him. His gaze drifted down her neck to her bare breasts. 2 long appendages darted up from below and latched hold of him. His mouth opened to scream as he plunged into the warm lake, the water doing its best to replace the air in his lungs. Wide-eyed, he was gripped with the pain, confusion, and terror that exploded within him. The human-like creature let its mesmerizing glowing eyes come back from their deep, dead depths. Its slick tentacles slithered around his head, pried between his lips, and shoved their way deep inside. His limbs lost all feeling. Clint's eyes lost focus. An oddly euphoric rush flooded his head as the face with the green glow faded to black. The night sky welcomed him back. Stars blurred, then came into focus. It felt like someone poured gasoline down his throat and set it ablaze. He tried swallowing and instantly regretted it. His tongue might as well have been sandpaper covered in some sort of foul paste. He managed to flip himself over as he gagged and vomited. Brown sludge. The sight of his puke made him purge again. Light-headed, he crawled from the gross mess and tried to get to his feet. Stumbling toward his house, he made his way up the back steps and stopped at the tic-tac sounds of something hitting the porch floor at his feet. Dropping his gaze, he stared at the 2 teeth that had fallen from his mouth. The fucked-up sight jolted him. Clint rushed inside, praying his father wouldn't call out to him. "Hey!" "Shit. That you, boy? Where the fuck you been?" Clint entered the bathroom next to his father's death cell, flicked the light switch, and closed the door. Lunging forward, he turned on the faucet and sucked at the egg-smelling water. Thirst quenched, he stood and gazed at the monster in the mirror. His face was more gritty white, his eyes more bloodshot than anyone's not knocking on heaven's door should be, and his chin was smeared in a mix of mud and blood. He reached up, lifting his top lip to reveal the spot where his teeth used to be. His gums were black. "Clint, you little queer. You missed my goddamn pills. You hear me, boy?" He couldn't let his father see him this way. The miserable prick would just have to wait for his meds. You make me get out of this bed again and I'll make sure you pay. Clint snatched the pain pills from the rack above the toilet. Without showing his face, he stepped into his father's room and tossed his prescription bottle at the fading bag of bones. What the fuck? Where are you going? Clint, you get your pansy ass back here! Get me some water! Clint! He went upstairs, into his dank and dingy bedroom, and curled up beneath his comforter. Squeezing his eyes shut, he tried to remember where the day went and what happened to him. His mind was blank. 1 minute he'd been sitting in the sun on the dock. The next, he'd woken up under the clear night sky like this, like some kind of monster. Sleep. That's what he needed. A little rest would give him back his color and take care of his horrifyingly bloodshot eyes. But what about my gums? What the hell's wrong with my mouth? Jesus Christ, 2 of my teeth just fucking fell out. What if more come out while I'm asleep? Can you choke to death on your own teeth? Eventually, the thoughts quieted and exhaustion overtook him. He let go and fell into a deep slumber. He could still hear his father pissing and moaning from downstairs. Just before sleep nestled him into unconsciousness, he recalled twin green lamps and a face in the water. I guess we'll just leave it at that. That's the intro for Becoming. You get introduced to Clint and his dad, who is horrible, obviously. But yeah, that one's a pretty short novel. It's a creature feature. There's a creature in the lake, and you can read on to try to find out what it is. Becoming's available. You can get the print edition or the ebook. I'd love to get an audio edition at some point, but we're not there yet. Like I said, you can find, this is a box full of monsters. There are some copies on eBay. Not mine, but somebody else has them. Check it out, and hope you guys have a good Halloween. Be good to one another. Stay safe. Peace.